If you guys want one-on-one training, online training, or nutritional coaching, please head on over to my website, jpfitnesspro.com. Just go to the services tab and select which one you would like. You can also subscribe to my newsletter and contact me through my website as well. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks. What is up, you guys? This is JP here. I'm coming at you with the next episode of the Minimalist series. The Minimalist series is a video series aimed at helping you get the most bang for your buck in your workouts without having very long workouts. Again, we're trying to have as few exercises that are going to get you well development of whatever muscle group that we're targeting for that episode. And if you couldn't tell already, this episode is going to go over the chest. So in this episode, I have 3 exercises that you guys should focus on if your goal is to have a very minimalist type of workout for the chest. You want to minimize the amount of exercises, you want to get in the gym, you want to get out of the gym. Again, this series isn't aimed for necessarily the most optimal thing. This could be something that's optimal for you, depending on where your training age, what your training age is, where you're at, just on your training journey overall, genetics, how experienced you are, and then just a lot of other factors that go into play. This could be something that, for depending on the individual, I might be able to make a workout that's more exercises and you get better hypertrophy. But again, that's a video series for another time, and this isn't necessarily for trying to make things optimal. This can be optimal or cannot be optimal. The main goal of this workout series in general is just to make the workouts pretty short for people who don't have time. You're living busy life. You just don't like working out, or you might not like training chest. I know a lot of people love training chest, but some people just don't like training chest. If you're one of those people who just doesn't like training chest, you're just like, okay, I want the least I can do to get effective gains, and that's it. This episode is going to be for you. So 3 exercises for the chest that I think are necessary, and the first one is the bench press. I think the flat barbell bench press is your key bang for your buck exercise. I feel like just in general, I feel like if you could pick one exercise that's going to get you the most volume and it's going to be the most practical and has the most carryover to other exercises as well, I think that's definitely going to be the bench press. At least you get a lot of workout volume in just one exercise, which again, if you follow my channel, you know workout volumes, what dictates magnitude of adaptation. So if you want to make the most gains over your training career, you want the most workout volume. And if you just want something that's going to carry over to all your other pressing movements, if you want, this is going to carry over to dumbbell presses, this is going to carry over to pretty much every other push exercise for upper body push. And then on top of that, most people just want a big bench, just because, you know, a bench press is that one kind of iconic exercise. Everyone asks it, how much you bench, man, how much you bench. So this definitely is a staple, and this is exactly where we're going to start from, is the flat barbell bench press. Now, the next exercise that we're going to have in our chest minimalist workout is going to be an incline dumbbell bench press. When we hit the flat barbell bench press, that's primarily going to be a horizontal adduction of the humerus. So it's going to be bringing your arm from here straight horizontally across your body with no angle implemented. We don't really have a downward angle. We don't have an upwards angle. And when we manipulate those angles, that's going to kind of prefer certain muscle fibers in the chest, and it's going to change things a little bit differently. So for a complete chest workout with as little exercises as possible, again, we want that horizontal push, which again, I already explained that the barbell bench press is a key exercise. We also want an angle where we have our humerus coming from a lower position to this upwards position. And if you look at during an incline dumbbell bench press, that's exactly what we have. So this is going to target more of that upper chest musculature. I really like the dumbbell variation of the incline dumbbell bench press, because I find that when I'm doing a barbell incline bench press and with people that I work with, I find that it has, again, I'm not sure if there's any evidence to back this up. This is strictly anecdotal, but I find that it has an increased risk of injury. Just because, again, you have to be more particular with range of motion. The barbell is a lot less it's a lot less forgiving in regards to where your hand placement's at and where your shoulders and elbows can go. I feel like dumbbells are a lot more forgiving in that sense, and that they let you kind of move your hands, elbows, and shoulder wherever you kind of really feel is most natural. And I feel like with me and with people that I work with, I've literally never had any problems with the incline dumbbell bench press, but with a barbell incline bench press, I've had some problems with it before. Shoulder pain. I've heard people talk about hurting their shoulder more seriously, even just regards ignoring pain. They've just had injuries during it. And then I find that too, that you definitely somewhere in this workout you do want a unilateral exercise too. So I think that, well, it's not really unilateral. It is, but you're doing both arms. I don't mean unilateral in the sense of using one arm. So I think the fact that it's dumbbells, one, it's going to help keep balance between both arms. It's, in my opinion, anecdotally, it has you have less chance of injuring yourself during the movement. And then again, we have that bottom to the upwards angle, which is going to target more of that upper chest. I just think the incline dumbbell and bench press is a good bang for your buck exercise. It's going to kind of hit what the barbell bench press does not. Now the last exercise that we're going to have in this chest minimalist workout is going to be a dip. This could be body weight, or it can be weighted depending on your strength levels, depending on if you're overweight or you're about the weight you're supposed to be. But the reason why I like the dip is because, talking about the angles that I was talking about earlier, again, we have a horizontal adduction, and then we have more of this bottom up with the incline dumbbell bench press. And then we want something that's going to put us in maybe a high to a low. And if you look at a dip, that's exactly what a dip does from here down this way. This is going to target more of that lower chest area. Again, it's not going to isolate it, but it's going to prefer that. And I just think that the dip has a lot of other benefits to it. One thing about body weight exercises is it's kind of give you a good idea of, again, your strength to body weight ratio. If you're someone who, well, let's start with this first. If you're assuming you're a natural athlete or you're someone who's natural, you're likely not going to be able to do that many dips or that many pull-ups if you're overweight. You're probably not going to do that many. And if you're obese, you probably won't even be able to do any at all. So if you could do a decent amount of pull-ups or dips, it's going to kind of help you, give you a ballpark idea of how your weight is in regards to your strength. Again, it doesn't tell the whole story, but it's just one good factor. So I would almost put money on it that if someone can do a lot of pull-ups, they're definitely not going to be overweight. Or if they could do a lot of dips, they're not overweight. Now, there are exceptions, but the only times that I've seen someone be able to do a lot of pull-ups or a lot of dips is if they're clearly someone who's on gear. They've used something and they just have kind of like abnormal levels of strength. Or, again, they're kind of cheating when they do the pull-ups. They don't use a full range of motion. There's some other gimmick that's involved. But a natural athlete who can do a lot of body weight movements is most likely going to have their weight in check. And if you can't, it's probably saying either you're really, really weak or you're overweight to some extent. Because there are skinny people who can't do that many dips or pull-ups either. They just have to get their strength up. But again, for that reason and the fact that it gets that lower portion of the chest and it's like from a high to a low position in regards to your arms, I just think that it's a really good movement for those two reasons. And there's also a lot of little other reasons too. Unlike the bench press and the incline dumbbell bench press, with the dip, you can bring other muscle groups into it. Like you've probably seen other people talk about, I know Athlete X has this on his channel, again, all credit to him, but I've seen other people talk about this too, is like at the top of the dip, you can protract your shoulder blades to get more of that serratus anterior involved. Which you can't do on a bench press and a dumbbell bench press. You technically could, but it's just not something you want to do. That's something that could actually injure you on those cases, but with a dip you can do that safely and you can get other muscle groups into play. So those are the reasons why I think that the dip is a good addition to this workout. So to do a quick recap, with the flat barbell bench press, we have the incline dumbbell bench press, and then we have body weight or weighted dips depending on your strength level. I had to do it on here just because we don't have a dip machine, but again, you got to get a little creative with it. Those are the 3 exercises. If you have any questions about this minimalist workout, put them down below. If you want to know why another exercise didn't get put in, again, ask me down below. I'll see you guys in the next video.